WAFF 48 News on your side. This is breaking news.
This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions. As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly, and we are a country of, really, we are in mourning.
President Donald Trump and the rest of the nation mourning after a military helicopter collided with an American Airlines plane Thursday night in Washington, D.C. At least 67 people were on board both aircrafts and are presumed to be dead. They plunged into the Potomac River after that crash. Now we're taking a live look at the recovery efforts underway right now. NBC's Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest.
Tragedy in the air and in the water.
I just saw a fireball and then it was just gone. So I haven't seen anything since they hit the river.
After a passenger plane collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan National Airport, sending both aircraft plunging into the Potomac River and touching off an urgent search.
We are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident. And we have recovered 27 people from the plane and 1 from the helicopter.
The plane, now in pieces in the river, is an American Airlines regional jet coming from Wichita, Kansas, with 60 passengers and 4 crew members aboard. 3 people on board the Black Hawk helicopter on a training flight.
We will not rest until we have answers for the families and for the flying public. You should be assured that when you fly, you're safe.
New audio showing air traffic controllers asking the helicopter pilot if he sees the passenger jet and telling him to pass behind it. As details begin to emerge about who was in that passenger plane. U.S. figure skating confirming that several coaches, athletes, and family members were returning from a training camp for top juvenile figure skaters. Families who had gone to the airport for reunions now facing devastation amid a search for answers about what went wrong. The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation, the Army investigating as well, and officials are saying that everything in the lead up to the crash appeared to be standard. They're now trying to figure out when that changed. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to a story you will only see on 48. Decatur's embattled police chief is sitting down for his first one-on-one interview since the department had a review released. Chief Todd Pinion talked about issues raised with his leadership, communication from his department, and why he says he won't resign.
Look, I swore an oath a long time ago as a police officer to serve and protect the city. That's still the same oath that I swore by today to that, and I still plan on continuing on as my role as chief.
Be sure to join us on WAFF 48 News at 4 this afternoon to see the answers Kylie Neese got to the questions the community is asking of the chief in the wake of that report.
The last 2 days were great. Sunshine and warmed up, and now today a lot of cloud cover. There's been a few passing showers and some light rain showers falling from mainly areas in Tennessee right now. Take a look at the radar and you can see where we have some light rain falling from Lawrenceburg to Pulaski, just to the west of I-65. A few little sprinkles near the radar site in High Top. The core of the rain, though, is off to our west, and we're still waiting for it to get here, and that will be more of a tonight event. The temperatures themselves around 60, even with the cloud covers, so it's pretty mild out there, just not very bright. The clouds will stick around through the evening. I think most of the evening commute is a dry one, but after about 9-10 p.m., rain will come down overnight. It'll be heavy at times with a few rumbles of thunder. Temperatures in the mid-50s. And once the rain moves out of here pretty early Friday morning, it is really a beautiful weekend setting up across the area, and I'll have more on that part of your forecast coming right up.
Jeff, thank you. Hartselle police need your help finding a missing teen. Police are looking for 14-year-old Kendra Farley. Kendra was last seen in the Hartselle area at around 10 last night. If you have any information on where she may be, call the Hartselle Police Department. All new at noon, we are working to learn the condition of a woman who was hurt after she hit a semi carrying wooden logs into Scumbia. The crash happened on Wednesday afternoon on Highway 72. Now, thankfully, those logs did not spill from the truck and hurt anyone. The police chief says she was taken to the hospital with injuries that did not appear life-threatening. One man has died after a crash on Highway 20 near Trinity. State troopers say 70-year-old Daniel Chenault was killed when he crashed into a tractor trailer Tuesday. A 73-year-old passenger in his car was hurt and taken to the hospital.
She was crying and in pain. She was asking me why someone would hit her with the car, and I said, I don't know.
A Gadsden mother is thankful her daughter is alive after being hit by a driver earlier this month, but she still has a long road ahead of her. Now, that suspect, who is from Boaz, is facing several charges. Brady Talbert has the story.
I was thinking, I guess, the worst thoughts, you know. Is she going to be alive when I get there? This is Kelly.
As Sherry Robertson rushed to UAB Hospital, she was unsure what condition her daughter, Kelly Townsend, would be in.
It was a relief when we got there and she was actually sitting up in the bed. They'd gave her so much medication, and she was crying and in pain. She was asking me why someone would hit her with the car, and I said, I don't know.
Townsend had to be airlifted from Gadsden to Birmingham after this. A driver ran into her as she was walking near the intersection of Stonewall Avenue and Madison Circle. Surveillance video shows the driver didn't even stop. Michael Lee Kelton has since turned himself in. Townsend learned the news after her first surgery.
We went to the room and I told her, I said, you know, they've got him, Kelly, and that she was relieved.
But is still suffering the consequences. She has had 2 surgeries so far and needs a third after her leg was crushed.
You hate to see your child get hurt.
Her mother says bone was even sticking out.
She's got a cut across here that's got stitches, and then she's got this metal rod. Of course, all of this is scraped off. It looks pretty bad.
Her mother says it could take months to recover. And not only does Townsend have a growing list of medical bills, but she can't even work. That's why the community is stepping up, already donating more than $1,100 to help.
Oh, I am so thankful. It just, to know that there's people out there like that will help you when you need it, it just, I'm so blessed.
Blessed with generosity and her life.
The car was right there in front of her and just about to hit her, and she said she heard a voice that said, everything's going to be okay. And so we know God was with her, and He's taking care of her now.
And the search is on for the person who made a bomb threat against an Alabama courthouse. That threat forced many to evacuate the Baldwin County Courthouse Wednesday. Investigators say it came by phone out of Escambia County. A bomb squad was called in. No threat was found, but several court hearings, including sentencing in a murder case, had to be rescheduled. Authorities say they are now working some leads. Alabama authorities are honoring a little girl whose body was found in 2012 but only recently identified. The Opelika Police Department held a small gathering to unveil a statue in Amore Wiggins' honor. For 11 years, Amore was known as Baby Jane Doe until she was identified in 2023. Her biological father, Lamar Vickerstaff, and stepmother, Ruth Vickerstaff, were arrested for their alleged involvement in her death. That statue will later be moved to a library. Tennessee senators have passed a $450 million aid package to help victims of Hurricane Helene. The bill, though, still needs to pass the House before heading to Governor Lee's desk. Senators have also voted to approve new immigration legislation that would create an immigration enforcement division within the state's Department of Safety. That bill now also heads to the House. Well, Chattanooga police are trying to find whoever put KKK flyers in subdivisions throughout the city. Police say a group of people was seen throwing these pieces of paper out of a truck. Now, a woman who lives in that neighborhood says they contained a message sharing an upcoming Klan meeting date. She says she still believes her neighborhood is a safe place despite this.
What they try to do was spread division, but they did the opposite last night, and I'm really grateful for my neighbors too.
Police officials in other cities near Chattanooga say they've also seen these flyers pop up. Well, some breakfast spots are charging more for meals as egg prices continue to climb. What one Alabama business owner is saying about the price hike, and the Federal Reserve holding steady on interest rates. What this means for you and your money ahead.